Welcome. My name is Lori White, for those I haven't had in class. And today we'll just have a well-rounded basic Hatha class. And let's go ahead and begin on our backs today. And you can definitely have your flat feet on the floor if that's comfortable. Maybe having them mat width apart so that the knees tent end can help release the lower back down into the mat. Or you can extend the legs. And if at any time this elicits any feelings of being uncomfortable or creates any anxiety, please come up and you're welcome to stand against the wall or remain seated. From here, I'll invite you to either close down the eyes or set the gaze upon one object. Just giving us something to focus on as we begin to turn the gaze internally. And we'll take a cleansing breath together. So with this breath, envision inhaling through the heels, the bottom of the feet, all the way up the back to the crown of the head. From here, as you exhale, envision exhaling the breath coming from the crown of the head and flowing down the front of the body with a bright golden light. And this light sweeping into all the corners of the body, and just helping to shine a little bit of light in those areas of negativity or any areas of holding. Doing this breath once more, inhaling all the way towards the top, the crown of the head, and exhaling out through the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, beginning to release any holding. And that could be emotional or mental holding of a thought, as well as physical holding of muscle tension within the body. Taking a moment here to scan the body to become aware of any of that holding, as well as any areas that may be a little cranky today. We want to pay a little bit more attention to, such as a shoulder or a knee. Focusing the gaze upon the breath, noticing the inhalation as well as the exhalation, and possibly any pauses between the two. Potentially noticing any holding in the body as you inhale or exhale. Together, we'll inhale through the nose, drawing the breath deep down into the lower lobes of the lungs, allowing the stomach to expand and then the chest. And then exhaling from the chest and then the stomach, drawing the navel into the spine, pushing the air back up and out through the nose. And continuing this breath, the breath that we'll use throughout class today. We find that we're holding the breath, possibly coming back to following it down into the lungs and back out. Always welcome to apply counts or even a mantra. I like to use the So Hum mantra, which means I am that. And so to myself, I would say the word so until I've completely inhaled, and then the word hum as I exhale. And eventually this turns into hum so, which means that I am. A couple more breaths here. extend the left leg long if both feet are on the mat. And as we inhale, drawing the right knee in towards the chest, as the right leg comes up, right foot comes off the mat, pressing through the heel, toes towards the knee. Pausing here, deep breath in. And as you exhale, begin to draw the right knee out towards the outer side of the body, towards the right underarm. Feel to draw the spine down along the back, as well as the shoulder heads. And as you exhale here, gently releasing right leg. Inhale, drawing left knee in towards chest. Again, flexing the foot. Deep breath in. And as we exhale, releasing the left knee towards the outer side of the body, drawing it in towards the underarm. And gently exhaling away. From here, we'll inhale, drawing both knees in towards the chest. They do not have to come all the way into the chest, and we can use a strap around the shins as well. And just gently begin to rock side to side. Pausing, releasing flat feet down to the mat and drawing the heels in close to the glutes, arms alongside the body, pressing shoulder heads down into the mat, spreading the fingers wide, grounding into the hands. As you inhale, releasing lower back down into the mat as you lift the pelvic bowl, so tailbone points up towards the sky. Exhale and gently release, allowing the natural curvature of the spine to return. And then once again, inhale, releasing lower back down as we lift pelvic bowl. Exhale, gently release. From here, we'll come up and meet on all fours. So in our tabletop, you're welcome to use a blanket underneath the knees or underneath the heel of the hand, especially if we have any wrist discomfort. You're welcome to turn the toes under or ground down through the tops of the feet. Spreading fingers wide, knees stacked underneath hips, and wrists underneath shoulders. Taking a deep breath in, sinking abdomen down, lifting chest, softly looking forward. If this is a bit too much for us today, we'll go ahead and keep a nice neutral spine here. Exhale, rounding chin towards chest as you press the vertebrae up towards the sky. And maintaining this, maybe turning heels under. Either way, we'll exhale and begin to press the hips back towards heels and about 2/3 of the way, and pause. Deep breath here. Inhale, slowly coming back into neutral tabletop. As we inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, bringing it back behind the left hand and reaching for the opposite wall. Inhale, right arm extends up once again. Exhale, back behind left. Perhaps we go ahead and drop the right ear down towards the mat. Pause here. Slowly inhale, coming back up. And then we'll switch over to the left hand. So grounding into right hand, inhale, left arm rises. And as we exhale, we'll bring it behind the right, reaching for the opposite wall. Inhale, coming back up, reaching up, and then exhale. Once again, maybe left ear comes down. Deep breath in, and exhale it out. From here, we'll inhale, coming back up into our neutral tabletop. Opening knees wide, bringing big toes together, pressing hips back towards heels, walking hands forward, coming into an extended child's pose or Balasana. Taking a deep breath here, and exhale it out. see where we are today, noticing the sensations throughout the body, becoming aware of any thoughts or emotions that arise, and if none do, that's perfectly fine. As we inhale, walking the hands halfway up and then over to the right, feeling to draw left hip towards heel. If you'd like a little bit more here, you can walk the hands further away, sinking a little bit further down toward the right thigh. Always working within our bodies and our own range of motion. Inhale slowly back to center, deep breath in, exhale, fold. Draw the breath deep into the belly, and exhaling it out. And our next inhalation, lifting the torso, walking hands halfway in, and as we exhale, walking hands over to the left and feeling to draw right hip back towards the right heel. Deep breath here. Softening the shoulders down the back. Slowly walking back to center, realigning the spine, and as you exhale, fold. Bringing hips back towards heels and walking hands forward. Inhale slowly, coming up. And I'm going to take a quarter turn on my mat here as we extend the right leg out, toes will face the wall in front, and left knee will stack underneath left hip, coming into our gate pose. Inhale, arms reach up, and as we exhale, right arm relaxes down as we reach over to the left, feeling to draw left shoulder back. Deep breath here. Soften and release the shoulder blade down the back. Gaze can be up, it can be straight ahead, it can be down. Kind of just depends on how the neck is feeling. One more breath here. Inhale slowly, coming up, and then switching out the legs. So right leg stacks underneath right hip, extending left leg long. Inhale, arms rise, reaching up, and as we exhale, releasing left arm down as we reach over with the right. Feel to draw right shoulder and elbow back. Getting nice extension or flexion here on the side of the body. One more breath in, and then slowly inhale, coming up. From here, we'll meet in standing in our Tadasana near the top of our mat. And I'm going to use blocks today in my sun salutation, so I'm going to go ahead and grab those. So shoulders back and down, grounding into the feet, creating our arches, so energetically taking the ankles, pressing them inward and rolling forward, engaging the legs. Together we'll ground down into the feet. Inhale, arms rise, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching up. As we exhale, bending knees and swan diving down into our forward fold. Flexion into the hips, so maybe we bend the knees a little bit deeper here. Deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth as you draw the belly in. And just see where you are today. Bending knees, placing weight back into the heels. Inhale, halfway rise, wherever that is. Crown of the head and tailbone in same plane, releasing shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, fold. Notice if this fold feels any different. It may and it may not. Grounding down into the feet. Inhale, pressing ourselves back up into our Urdhva Hastasana. palms meeting in front of the heart center and back down. Deep breath in and exhale it out. Together we'll inhale once again, reaching up. Exhale, swan diving down into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Softening the shoulders. Exhale and folding. Again, maybe we have that deeper bend in the knee. Pressing weight back into the heels. Inhale and pressing ourselves back up, Urdhva Hastasana, and back down to mountain. Adding a couple lunges to this, we'll inhale, reaching arms up. Exhale, swan diving down, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Bending knees, placing hands either on our supports or on the floor, and we'll step the right leg back, maybe using the blanket underneath the right knee, coming into a low lunge. Deep breath here. Grounding into the left foot, chest lifts. And as we exhale, bringing hands down, back toes turn under, and we'll step the left leg back to the right, meeting in plank or palakasana. So in plank pose, the knees can be down, but they're not stacked underneath the hips, they're behind us. Or you can lift in the weights on the ball of the feet, pressing into the hands, chest lifts and reaches forward, abdomen's engaged, protecting lumbar spine, releasing knees down. And from here, we can either draw the knees underneath chest and inhale into a cow pose, or you can come all the way down and inhale into baby cobra, or we can skip this pose altogether. And from here, grounding into the hands and into the knees, we'll make our way up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deep breath here and exhale it out. Pressing into the hands, reaching the tailbone or the hips up to the crown, or excuse me, to the seam of the ceiling and the wall. Deep breath. Welcome to give yourself a generous bend in the knees as we're really focusing on elongating the spine here. And from here, we'll shift the weight over to the right leg, left leg steps forward, the opposite leg, and then right knee down as we meet in our little lunge. Should be the other side, sorry. So for me, I need to have my right leg forward. Grounding down into the right foot. Exhale, we'll bring hands down, back toes turned under, big step forward or multiple small steps. Inhale, halfway rise, and exhale, fold. Bending knees, tucking chin towards chest, ground into the earth as we press ourselves back up, Urdhva Hastasana, and down to mountain. Deep breath in and exhale it out. We'll do that once again, but before we do, just take a moment here. Notice how the body is feeling. Tune into the breath. And then from here, we'll ground down. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, softening knees as we fold forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Deep breath here. Inhale, half rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up, bending knees, placing hands down. And this time, we'll step back with the left leg first, left leg down. Inhale, low lunge. It can be wherever you are comfortable. Knee can be on the hand to the knee, hand on blocks, our arms can reach up. Exhale, bringing hands down. Right leg comes back to meet left. So maybe we're on our knees, or maybe we're up in our plank. From here, we'll exhale and press up into our downward facing dog. So we're skipping our Bhujangasana, or cobra pose here, on purpose. And from here, we'll take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, left leg steps forward, right knee down. Inhale, coming up into our low lunge on the opposite side. And as we exhale, hands come down, toes turn under, and making our way into our mountain pose, or Uttanasana, grounding down, Urdhva Hastasana, and then mountain. Taking a moment here and tuning in once again to the body, to the breath. And again, becoming aware of anything that comes up for you. From here, we'll shift the weight over to the right leg, left leg steps back. We'll remain up on the ball of the foot. So my stance is a little too narrow for me. I feel unsteady. I'm gonna walk my right foot out towards the long edge of my mat, and then draw right hip back, left hip forward, pelvic bowl neutral. Deep breath in. Maybe my arms come up in cactus, or they reach up, whichever's comfortable for you. Hands can be to the hips too. Squeezing glutes. We meet in our high lunge here. One more breath in. And from here, we'll exhale, bringing left heel down. So we've opened up the hip, maintaining the integrity of the right leg, and then arms reach out, Virabhadrasana 2. Lifting inner arches if we can. Deep breath here. And even if we have flat feet, it's just the action. We may not actually get a lift, and that's okay. As we exhale, right forearm down to the right thigh. Inhale, maybe left arm rises, or maybe it comes alongside the ear. I can also bring it down to my hip and feel to draw the left hip and shoulder back, or up and back. So we're opening up the hip. One more breath as we ground into the right foot. Inhale, coming up, meeting in our Virabhadrasana 2. Relax the shoulders down the back. See if we can get the hips and shoulders stacked. And then just kind of notice how that feels. From here, we'll inhale, and as we exhale, releasing the hands down, and we'll turn the toes to the front, or for you guys it will be to the front of the studio, and slightly in. Kind of just depends on how the knees feel today. Hands can be to the hips, and as we exhale, bending knees and folding halfway forward. Pressing hips back, reaching the crown of the head to the wall in front. And pause here for a moment. Extend the arms back behind us as we're reaching for the wall behind. Deep breath here. Palms face one another. Yes. This feels a little bit more comfortable for some. If it doesn't, by all means. On your next exhalation, softening knees and then releasing hands downward. Maybe they come to blocks, stacked blocks is an option as well, or possibly all the way down to the floor. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, draw the navel into the spine and allow yourself to find your seat in the pose today. Find your asana. From here, we'll soften knees, placing weight into the heels and slowly making our way up. Shoulders come back. Turning heels in, toes out. Inhale, arms reach up. As we exhale, sinking hips and elbows downward, so elbows come in alongside the body, hips sink down. Making any adjustments that are comfortable for us. Maybe we add a little bit of rocking here, a little bit of neurological unwinding. Kind of letting go of the week. Not thinking about the week to come. The movement also can help release holding and muscles, dynamic stretching. Pausing and grounding into the heels, inhale coming up, gently release, and meeting in our mountain pose. So Tadasana. Deep breath in. From here, we'll shift the weight over to the left leg, right leg steps back, coming up onto the ball of the foot, maybe widening our stance, sinking hips down. Left hip back, right hip forward, pelvic bowl neutral. So again, we want the pelvic bowl underneath shoulders. Arms again, wherever's comfortable for you. And for me, I personally prefer cactus arms, but you do not have to be in cactus arms. It's just I feel like I have little T-Rex arms and I cut off my neck. Deep breath here, squeezing glutes. As you exhale, right heel comes down, opening up right hip. Feel to draw left knee back. Arms reach out, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Running the energy up through the feet and out through the fingertips. And then feel to draw shoulders over pelvic bowl. On our next exhalation, left forearm down to the left thigh. Maybe right arm rises, maybe extends alongside the ear, or can be to the hip. Feeling to draw right shoulder back as well as the hip. From here, we'll exhale, gently releasing, and make our way back into our Virabhadrasana 2. Deep breath here. And exhale, gently release. Again, toes will face forward, or the wall in front of you. And again, we'll draw the heels and toes out. Arms reach up, and as we exhale, sinking hips and elbows down and in. Deep breath here. Yep, meeting in our goddess pose. Pausing here. And this time we'll focus on drawing the hips down. And then at the same time, envision that we have a bowl in the pelvic bowl filled with water. So we want to make sure that it's neutral and the water's not spilling forward nor back. So keeping a nice long spine, grounding into the heels, coming up, toes face forward this time. Exhale, hips come back as heart center comes forward, meeting in our half wide angle fold. Arms reach back before, this time soften knees, arms reach alongside the ears. Deep breath. Notice how this changes the pose for you. One more breath, and as you exhale, continue to fold forward as you let it all go. Stacking our blocks underneath the chest. if we're using blocks today. From here, left hand underneath the chest, right hand to the hip. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, beginning to rotate over towards the right as you draw right shoulder back. Maybe right arm rises. Bending knees a little bit deeper if we have any hamstring issues, lower back issues, maybe even stepping feet closer together. As we exhale, right hand comes down, replacing left. Inhale, lengthen spine, left hand to the hip. As you exhale, rotating, drawing the left shoulder up and back, maybe pausing here, or maybe left arm reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing left hand down, deep breath in, halfway, coming up. Exhale, bending knees and folding forward. Maybe hands come down to the floor, maybe they walk underneath the torso. Just options. From here, we'll inhale, halfway rise, taking hold of our blocks. And as we exhale, either using our blocks and bringing them over toward the right, or you can reach toward the right shin or foot. Feeling to draw the hips back. And slowly with awareness, we'll inhale back to center. Deep breath in, elongate the spine, and as you exhale, rotating over to the left. If you notice that there's any discomfort in the left knee, go ahead and turn the toes out to the left. Just open that hip up a little bit. And then we'll slowly inhale back to center, elongating the spine, exhaling and folding once again. Hands come up to the hips, bending knees, and we'll slowly make our way all the way up. Shoulders come back and down. From here, we'll turn the toes all to the left. Back leg will step out towards the long edge of the mat. Left foot will again step out towards the long edge of the mat as well. Grabbing some blocks. Again, this is dependent on each one of us. I know I will want to stack mine a little here. So we'll feel to draw left hip back, right hip forward, pelvic bowl neutral, grounding into this back foot as we exhale, hinging forward, keeping a long spine. Taking my blocks, right hand will come to the block. Pause right here for a moment. Maybe I stay right here today. Or as I exhale, I can begin to rotate over to the left. But feeling to draw left hip back. So we don't want to kick the hip up, but feel to continue to draw it back. Yes, perfect. Our revolved triangle. As we exhale, torso will turn, so now we're facing down towards the mat, and then drawing my block closer towards the left foot, left hand to the block, back foot, I'll step back and then turn so it's parallel with the back edge of the mat, shift hips back, inhale, right hand to the right hip as I now open up into my Udahita Trikonasana, or triangle pose. Keeping knee slightly bent is not locked, so we don't want to hyperextend. Possibly, maybe we reach the arm up. It's not required, it's options. And as we exhale, softening left knee, right hand comes down, grounding into left foot and making our way up. Great job. From here, toes will all turn towards the opposite side. Right foot will now walk towards the long edge of the mat. Left leg will step out towards the opposite mat edge. Right hip comes back, left hip forward. Again, I personally am going to stack my blocks because I know I have very tight hamstrings here and shoulders. So from here, drawing right hip back, stacking left hand underneath shoulder, and maybe I pause here, elongating the spine. Perfectly fine. Or if I'd like to carry the twist, I can exhale and feel to draw the right shoulder back. Left right hip too comes back. So we don't want to kick the right hip out. And maybe that means that I bend my right knee a little bit, walking left hand closer, or stepping back foot in and out. All perfectly fine options. As I exhale, gently unwinding, pausing as I scoot my blocks towards the right foot. Now I'm going to step my back foot back, or left foot back, and turn it so it's parallel with the back edge of my mat. Stacking the right hand, and then beginning to open up the left hip, left shoulder. Maybe I stay here. Maybe I inhale, bringing the arm up. Still feeling to draw left hip back and up. If I notice I'm now hyperextending my knee, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a bend here. And that's going to make me want to draw my blocks in a little bit more. Gaze can be up, it can be down. It's whatever's comfortable for your neck. And as we exhale, bringing left hand down, softening right foot, coming up onto the toes of the back foot, and big step forward. Meeting in Tadasana, or mountain pose. I'm going to take a quarter turn here, working on some of our standing poses. I'm going to have a block handy, just because sometimes I like to ground my opposite foot into a block. So coming into nice strong Tadasana, shoulders back and down, grounding down into the feet, noticing the sensations throughout the body and mind, letting go of any frustrations, beginning to shift the weight over to the left leg, softening knees, coming up onto the toes of the right, level out hips, abdomen's engaged, protecting lumbar spine. And from here, drawing the right knee up, squeezing glutes, keeping hips level, reaching up through the crown of the head. And perhaps I bring it up to a block. It's another option. And even here, I can maybe lift it, but I know that block's there. Squeezing glutes. They're going to be what helps drive this. So some options. To begin with, I can stay right here. I can bring the right hand to the knee, lifting chest. Exhale, begin to open right knee out. Now, most of us are not going to be here just because of our range of motion. I typically will not be here. I will be here. Perfectly fine. If you do open all the way up and that's your range of motion, great. It's okay though if that's not where we are. Deep breath in. If I feel unsteady, I'll bend the standing leg. And then drawing the knee back to center. Left hand comes around, hooks on the outside of the knee. I feel unsteady, so I'm going to bend my knee. Right arm rises like you're going to shake somebody's hand. And we bring it back. Possibly the gaze follows. And then gently step it out. Woo. I don't know about you, but my left foot was working. I'm gonna feel that. And when we're ready, we'll do that on the opposite side. We can use a strap here as well with the knee. And we can also come next to a wall. And I always like to have, I actually made sure this chair was here, because even at home, I will often use chairs, or ottomans are a really good height for me. And we can do the same thing here with the seat of a chair. So meeting in our Tadasana. If anybody would like a chair, just let me know. There should be some around the room. Shoulders back and down. Grounding down into the feet. And when I'm ready, I'll shift the weight to the right leg. Coming up onto the toes of the left. Leveling out hips, engaging abdomen. All very important steps. Soften right knee, drawing left leg up, squeezing glutes. So even though I have my foot on the chair, same actions are all occurring. I'm squeezing the glutes, I'm still balancing, I'm barely touching the chair, still pressing through the heel. Now again, adding the additional options, staying here or left hand to the knee, and then beginning to open the knee up towards the left, working within our range of motion. So if I notice this right hip is starting to turn to the left, I'm outside my range of motion. So I'm going to draw the left knee back towards center. From here, we'll inhale, drawing the knee back towards center. Right arm reaches around, takes hold, lifting chest. We don't want to draw the chest in. Right, left arm rises like we're going to shake somebody's hand. Exhale, bringing it back. If I feel unsteady, bend the standing leg a little bit more. Maybe the gaze follows. Exhale and gently dissolve. And step it out. That was great. That's pretty hard. So meeting back on our mat. From here, let's actually go ahead and come all the way down onto the floor. We'll bring the flat feet to the mat. Chest stays lifted. And again, I always like to have my supports handy and within reach. You can also make poses more challenging with them. For example, we're getting ready to move into Navasana or bow pose. If you'd like to make it a little more challenging, you can sit on the block, as that can reduce some of the surface area for the seat. So from here, I like to begin first by bringing my hands underneath the thighs, and then chest is lifted, abdomen's engaged, coming up on the tiptoes and walking back, coming onto the sacrum. It's kind of like a little tripod where you notice you can balance. Pausing here. This very well might be my Navasana today. Or maybe I lift a leg or foot. Maybe I lift both. All options. Maybe I release the arms and bring them out. I can also bring my feet to a block as well if I feel like I just want a little bit of support. Abdomen's engaged, chest is lifted, deep breath. Can lean back a little if I want to make it a little more challenging. You can even extend extend the legs a little as you come into half Navasana, or what they call canoe, I think. You extend the legs. Exhale, and from here we'll gently lower all the way down. Open arms wide. Deep breath in and exhale it out. So I've noticed everybody has a blanket. So what I would like to do is we'll go ahead and come up and take our blanket and turn it so it's at a longer edge and just roll the blanket. Bringing flat feet to the mat, we'll place the blanket right at the sacrum and then begin to lie back. And then arms come out into a V. Taking a moment here as we open up the chest. Flat feet can come to either side of the mat and allow knees to tent in. Couple more breaths here. Slowly as we exhale, bringing the arms alongside the body and gently rolling over to one side. And we'll remove our blanket as we come up into a seat with legs extended. Maybe we take that rolled blanket and place it underneath the knees, especially if the hamstrings are tight. So from here, arms reach up. We'll exhale, folding forward into a seated forward fold. Reaching forward, inhaling, stacking the vertebrae one at a time. And as we exhale, releasing the hands down. Fingertips face the wall in front, and we'll stack them right underneath the shoulders. Feel to draw shoulders back, so chest is reaching forward. Abdomen's engaged, pressing through the heels, toes towards the knees. And then begin to press the weight into the hands as we kind of take some of the weight off of the seat. You may notice the seat may not come up off the mat, but you can tell that weight distribution has shifted. As you exhale, gently release. And then bringing flat feet to the mat, walking hands back. Weight comes back onto the hands, not full weight. Lift chest and feel to draw the elbows in toward one another. Deep breath here. Imagine that you're squeezing the shoulder blades and holding the pencil back there. Exhale and gently release. Shrug the shoulders. We'll draw the shoulders up to the ears and exhale and let them fall. And then do that once again. Bringing hands back. From here, we'll ground into the feet as we inhale, lifting hips. Doesn't matter how high the hips come up off the mat. Into our inverted tabletop, squeezing glutes. Exhale and gently lowering down. Inhale, arms rise, and exhale, folding forward. Inhale, slowly coming up, reaching up, and exhale, lowering down. From here, we'll meet all the way down onto the back. Flat feet to the mat, arms alongside the body. And then as you exhale, releasing the back down into the mat. lower back, shoulders, maybe palms face up, tailbone lifts, pelvic tilt once again, just releasing the lower back. Exhale and allowing the natural curvature to return. From here, we'll draw right knee in towards the chest and then out towards the underarm. Right hand comes around and either grabs the outside of the foot or the inside. I find this is a personal preference. And then from here, we'll inhale, bringing flat foot up towards the floor, coming into a half happy baby. Feeling to keep left hip on the mat and then the entire spine down on the floor. So imagine drawing the tailbone down. Exhale and gently release. Right flat foot to the mat, left knee draws in and then out towards the underarm. Hand reaches towards the bottom of the foot. Grounding into right foot, inhale, left flat foot comes up, and as you exhale, drawing the knee downward and feeling to draw right hip onto the mat as well as tailbone. And again, with our range of motion, maybe we don't bring the knee quite so far down if we notice that the right hip is coming up. Exhale and gently release. And from here, we'll extend the legs long, opening the legs wide, arms extend out, opening wide, palms facing up. Deep breath in and exhale it out. One more breath here. And then you're welcome to stay in this position or begin to make any adjustments for your final Shavasana. Whatever that may be, that allows you to feel comfortable and relax fully. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling it out through the mouth. And doing this once more. And scanning the body again for any holding. What can you let go of? What can you leave right here on the mat today? Allowing yourself to find a place of stillness. chest to expand. Exhaling it out. Possibly doing this once more. Taking a moment to notice how the body feels, how this breath feels. Becoming aware of the mind. Hopefully we feel a little more centered, serene. We'll gently bring awareness back into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes. You're welcome to take your time and make your way up into your comfortable seat. And together we'll meet in our Anjali Mudra with the palms together in front of the heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me today. It's truly an honor to be a part of your practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.